Hello, in this video we're going to be talking about the Feature tab. Now here I am again at the landing page, and so I'll just click on my website. Now I'd like to remind you that the Feature tab only shows up on the main page. Now if you're not on the main page, you can click on the name of your department over here on the left hand side. When you click that, it always takes you back to this page. Now, to remind you what the features are, over on the right-hand side, anything that shows up here is accessible via the features page. And over on this side, it's the contact information. That's what you can change. So let's take a look. Click on the Features tab. And we have several different things that we can change. On the right-hand side, we've got the technical training announcements. Now, that's the name of my announcements. Yours will say your department right here. The quick links, and again, yours will say your department here. I've got a social media page that people can visit, and that's indicated by the YouTube logo. But just about anything that's listed down here in the bottom is what you can have. Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and Tumblr, anything like that. If you've got any of those, this is where you go to give people links to them. Now, things that I don't have showing up include my actual Twitter feed. And I don't have a departmental Twitter feed, so I don't put it there. And then the news block, and that includes the CSU news or my own news feed. And I don't have those, so I don't have them turned on. You'll see that in this column right here, you can either enable or disable these elements. Up in the top, we'll start with the announcements. Now, I'd like to tell you a little bit about what the announcements are. Announcements are supposed to be for immediate things that are happening that you want to make people aware of. They need to be changed frequently. If something's old, people will stop looking at it altogether. So these are, you don't want to leave them up for months and months and months and months. You want to get them up, make them live for a while, and then take them off. If you don't have anything in here, if you don't have an announcement to make, just come over and disable. Now, just below that are the quick links. These are actual links that you will find here in your normal navigation system. It's just that those are pages that people want to go to a lot. So they could come to your page, and the most important things are right here. You don't want to have a whole bunch of these quick links in there. For one thing, when somebody looks at your page from a cell phone or from some other handheld device, they won't even be here anyway. They'll be way down at the bottom, kind of hidden. So people have to scroll all the way down. I've got about 6 or 7, and you don't really want to put just tons and tons, because if everything's important, then nothing's important. And I'd mentioned that these are my social media pages. Those are accessible over here at the CSU social media. And I'll tell you, if anytime you see the word CSU in this entire column, that really means you and your department. I've got it enabled. And the contact block is up here. Now, one thing that's a little bit different is this CSU Grad Apply Now. So if you're working for a department and you want to give a quick and easy way for students to apply for grad school here at Cleveland State University, then you can enable this and put up a link. Now let's take a look at how to do announcements. I'll click on the word announcements, and you'll see that I have several. Well, I have two. Right now I have two places for announcements. You'll understand that you have something for them to read, and in this case, I have a link for them to go to. So something to click on, someplace to go. I could do it down here again, something to read and to click on, and someplace to go. Now, an announcement doesn't have to have a link, but in this case I did. I wanted people to be able to download my latest campus technology newsletter. Now, you'll notice this little star I have. That's not something that we provide. All I did was I went out on the web, found a text-based star, copied it and pasted it. Now, I want to tell you again, you don't put those things on there all over the place. I put it on the two most important things here that I wanted people to see right away. Again, if you have lots of stars, then it's not important anymore. It's easy enough to remove something. You just click the remove button and it's gone. Now, I want you to look up here. Your changes will not take effect until the form is saved. That means you have to come down here and hit the Save Configuration button. If I hit the back button, it's everything I just did is canceled. So nothing changes until I hit Save Configuration. So let me do that for you real quick. When I go back into announcements, I've only got the one. I can add another announcement, and again, you don't want to have lots of announcements, but you could have 5 or 6, something like that. And again, try to keep them simple and to the point. All right, I'm going to hit the back button. My content block. Now you can see that I've got 3 different sections. There's nothing that says you have to do anything in specific. We don't have a tried and true standard yet on the internet. They're talking about it. They're just working very slow. The World Wide Web Consortium is going very slowly on this before they adopt it. So there isn't anything standard just yet. But you can see that we've got a place for title, organization, street, city, zip, all kinds of different things. 2 things happen. If you type anything up in the title, it gets turned bold. So take a look down here. IS&T Technical Training, that's my division. If it's up in the title, it gets bolded. My mailing address, or anything that I put in there. Now, the only other thing that turns into a link is if you put your email in there. You can see my emails right there. What'll happen there is that somebody will click on that. It will open up their email program and enable them to send an email to you. So I'm not an organization, am I? But I put my name there just because that's what made sense. I put my phone number all the way down here, but I don't have to. I could have put it up here. Right now, there just isn't, there's no rhyme or reason to it right now. But I'll tell you what I did. This section here is my basic contact information. This section here, which would be contact number 2, is where my mailing address is. And this final section, which would be section 3, contact 3, is just where you can find my training room. So that's the contact information section. And of course, if you make changes, you've got to hit Save Configuration down here at the bottom. The quick links. You've got 2 things that are required if you want to do a quick link. You can, anytime you see a little red asterisk, that means it's required. So you have to have something for them to click on and someplace to go. Now, if you just want to go to one of your main pages, simply go to the page, copy the URL, and paste it in here. That's the easiest way to do it. So you type something for them to read and click on, and then you paste the URL. So I could go over here to this page. I'm going to open it up in a new window. select the URL, and I'd copy it, and then I would just paste it in here. That's all it is. At the very bottom, I have to save first. So that's basically how to do your quick links. And remember, your quick links are pages that already exist either in your navigation or someplace out in the world. Social media links. Now, each one of these different accounts will tell you what they need you to do. So if you want to link to your Facebook profile, you actually have to give the URL of your page. So you just go to that page, just like I showed you a few minutes ago, and paste something in there. Obviously, that's not the right URL, but I just wanted to show you that that's what you do. You paste the URL in there. And whatever you do, just like I have my CSU Technical Training YouTube channel, the icon pops up over here. One thing is different, Twitter. This is where you would actually paste the website so they could go to your Twitter feed. And I'll show you something different in a second. Instagram, Tumblr, Pinterest, anything, they're all basically the same. You go to the page and you paste them in. When you're done, you hit Save Configuration. Now, this CSU Twitter, that means your department Twitter feed. I've got mine disabled, but I'll show you what it looks like. See, you just put in your Twitter account, your handle. So this is why I don't publish it. It's my personal Twitter feed at Bill B. Milhone. But that's all you have to do. You paste that in there, and it says right here specifically, not the URL. Do not include any of that stuff. Just your handle. Then you hit Save Configuration, and another section will pop up underneath here. And it'll give your latest, like last couple tweets, that kind of thing. Finally is the news block. Now, a news block is a special page. This whole page here would be a regular content page, but a news page, if you go up underneath the content menu and come down to add content, see you've got basic page, news, and web form. News pages are special in that you must have a news category. And then every time you add a news item, it will show up in what they call the sub-site news. That means your department's web feed, your news feed. It's based on the old but very, very useful technology called Really Simple Streaming, RSS. And the basic idea behind a news item is that I, as the editor, would create it and then load it, and then it would just go out to whoever has subscribed to it automatically. So I could have 50 different people who are subscribed to my website, my news feed rather, and they don't have to come to my page to get the information. It comes to them. Up here at the top, you'll see that I have the Show CSU News turned off. If I click that and hit Save Configuration, so I'm turning it on because you'll see the check mark there. Hit Save Configuration, and you'll see right here, Recent CSU News. That's at the top level of the university. If I click one of these, you'll see what I'm talking about. See, it gives you an opportunity to put your story out there. You could have a picture. You could have quite a bit of information that wouldn't normally go on a news page. And one of the coolest things is if you look over here on the left, everything is categorized. So if somebody wants to look at your stuff specifically, they just come over here and click on it. These newsfeed can be then retweeted, reshared, anything that they can be emailed to somebody. They're all date and time stamped. They look good. They're able to print out better than a regular web page. So to me, they have a lot. There's a lot you can do with a news feed, and they're always archived, and you don't have to worry about the archive. It's done automatically, but it's really a good way of getting your story out there. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about in the features group is the CSU Grad Apply Now feature. Once it's enabled, the feature places two buttons just here above the announcements area. Now, these buttons will give students the ability to apply for grad school, get more information, and go through the registration process. It's completely up to you whether or not you would like to have it on your website. I don't really interact with students that way, so I tend to leave it off. But I will enable it for you just to give you an idea what it looks like. So don't forget, whenever you make a change, you have to hit the Save Configuration button, and it takes you back. And you'll see right here are the Apply Now and the Request Info buttons.